Hello, hello. Hey, guys. Oh, geez. Well, I guess I should just go ahead and just go ahead and get started. So, hey, guys. How's it going? My name is Justin, and you're watching or listening to episode 379 of DangIT Prodcast. Apologies about a little bit of the pause at the beginning. I just realized that it's actually kind of dim in this, room. I know that I made, slight adjustments. Actually, I'll just go ahead and manually do it this time. As far as no, actually, I should probably also see what Stream Deck had in mind when setting the lights and everything like that. I don't think so. I think it was just mainly because I manually set them this time. I think the scenes and multi actions I have set up don't account for the lights that need to be set in place, which thankfully, thanks to the wonderful thing about the programming side of it, I can just go ahead and add it in there without really changing too much. But in this case, I'll go ahead and set it. I was tweaking around with the settings for volume, or not volume, but the lights, because of the fact that I don't know, last when I was checking some of the post footage stuff when it came to one of the streams, I noticed that especially for when we were doing the Nintendo Direct, right? The just the detail on my face was kind of just blown out as far as the quality of it. It was just not really looking good. Like the depth of field though was really nice, but I didn't really like the image on my face. And granted, I'm working with this. It's I know that it can look a little bit better as far as the sharpness, if anything, the depth of field. A little quick aside, actually, because I've been kind of dabbling a little bit more, or at least getting myself more interested back into the whole realm of photography. I knew that going into that I would probably require different types of lenses, not just the standard kit lens that I have here, which honest to goodness, if I had to tell you exactly the dimensions and dynamics of or specs, excuse me, of the lens, I really don't know what I'd be saying, to be honest. All I know is that this lens is kind of wide enough, but I can get wider. I also just picked up on the fact that because this is a mirrorless camera, it it has the option to take in full frame lenses, but by doing so, because of the smaller sensor, it has to crop off the image quite a bit. So if I want to get a fuller image, then and not be limited to whatever I got, I would have to go in and get a whole full frame lens, which I'm not in the market for. Honestly, if you could see the setting and the setup that I got going on right now, it's actually, hold on, just want to double check. Okay, just want to make sure. Unfortunately, I also want to make sure that I see any volume coming from the mic, and unfortunately just from the default screen here on OBS, I don't really get to see that as often. So I have to manually just double check to make sure. Anyway, but yeah, if you could see my desk setup, it's not meant to have any type of bigger camera be sitting here just to point at me. The mirror camera actually is kind of pushing a little bit. What you guys don't know is I actually will just take the entire system off, unplug the USB, unplug the power to the dummy battery, and just kind of place it down on the ground right here. It's not too bad. I kind of get with it. It's a lot better, admittedly, than the old setup for podcasting, where I literally just moved my entire set all over the place, from my place here to the apartments that the guys used to live in, to the house that they used to live in. They moved into from the apartment, and they moved into that. They later on moved out, and then we kept everything to here again. But it's nice to have a little office space like this, or and recording setup, etc., just so you can have that opportunity, an option to do that, and pretty much try to automate things as much as possible, kind of like how I was just doing it for the stream. So things just work, and it's great. It only sucks though when something goes awry and you have no idea of what moving part just went out of place, essentially. But welcome everyone again to the podcast. Don't mind the little bit of the sidetraction that we just had. Actually, you know what? I think that's fine. I think it's fine to just kind of go off tangent, even if it's just for me. I do know that I was kind of waiting on guys to pick up on the call. I know that Phil was kind of unavailable. He was pretty busy today because of work. Mark was going to be jumping in a little bit. He'll probably message me either here on Twitch or just in Discord, and we'll just bring up the call. If it's just gonna be us two though, I don't have a scene like for like a split screen like that, so it'll just probably just be me still like on the scene, so it should be fine. For those of you who just kind of just listen in, then that's fine too. Which reminds me, actually, we used to have and it might change like depending on like when you listen to this, but I know that I've been looking for different opportunities and options for audio, like Pacific, like podcasting, a place that I can just distribute the DangIT Prodcast like episodes like through there. And whatchamacalls it, that's still very much so a possibility. It's just it's a lot of backtracking. We're at like at what, episode 379, and I think I got up to like 20ish episodes until like I had to like do like with other things. The problem that I got going on right now is that like I've pretty much stretched out my schedule too thinly. Like what, like after this podcast I'll probably have to like edit a couple video episodes of Spider-Man Miles Morales, to which all footage has been finished and recording. It's just about the editing process and just making sure I have time to do that, and then following after that just making the thumbnails and everything like that. So I will have that out at some point. I think if I'm in good shape for editing this weekend, we could probably get started with releasing them maybe by like mid next week. So we'll see. I'll definitely just have a follow-up like on this for the channel for sure, unless I forget. That's also a possibility. Which is why it's important to like write things down as you in your growing ages. You tend to, it's not too particularly because of the fact that like you lose that memory, but mainly because you just kind of have so many things like on your mind anyway. So I wanted to, that's why we have like topics lists, and why I'm trying to make sure that even without like the group, I make sure I write things down, because there's actually quite a bit of things that happened that I would have otherwise just forgotten about. I have talked about them in the podcast, well, not podcast, but like on Twitch, like specifically just on the gaming side of things, just to let everyone know like any current things that have happened, popped up, including the thing about Twitch partnering up, not partnering up, they have an agreement with the what was it, National Music Publishers Association. Essentially the move there is to make it a little bit easier to kind of pick up on, well, not pick up, but to have a better approach in, I guess, reporting like possible copyrights type of music, right? So to kind of keep it pretty brief, and also not really specific, because we don't really have too many details as to how they're going to incorporate this. But essentially, what we're dealing with is that Twitch in the past has hit us up with like copyrights, like, well, not like the channel specifically, but we're talking about just people in general having like self-reports on their content being taken down, like because of the fact that like different policies go into effect, like say like Capcom, for example. But there's also other works that pop up, like more often than not you'll find like event stuff that people are doing like reactions for, will have a lot of copyright music, and people are either like fighting to ensure that their streams don't include those, or they slip through, and as a result the people have to take the video down, otherwise the video gets taken down for them. And causes some problems here or there. And essentially what this agreement is going to try to do is to at least mark it as like kind of a warning, and also provide alternative like ways to change like the impact of like the current situation on that like live stream VOD. And yeah, I would say that I think it's a good solid first step, but of course they do encourage you to proactively look out for stuff like that. So I guess this is a good first step, honestly. To be honest, like I feel that a lot of streamers who go into this should kind of be aware of this, and the only reason I'm a little bit more like in tuned here and there is because I've dealt with that like on YouTube as well. So I think, and a lot of people like in my standing would also have like a similar situation, just knowing that like, you know, that could definitely hurt your channel. So definitely we have to learn to read it up a little bit. But thankfully, I mean, knock on laminate wood, flooring, things will be okay going forward. But yeah. Oh, I should go ahead and just talk about this real quick. Well, actually, should I? Because we're still waiting on whatchamacallit. We're waiting for people to come up on the call, right? I'm pretty much keeping all my like lanes of conversation and chat like open in case I do get a message. But what else? What can I talk about right now that's not something that requires other people's input right now? Actually, it's a lot of things, if not the rest of it. What was that game called? Kenna? I feel it's like it can't. No way. They had a different name to it. It's the PlayStation 5, but also Windows game. Oh, it is Kenna. Okay, Kenna Bridge of Spirits. This was released as kind of like a preview a while back. I believe it could have been like announced during the time of just the announcement of PlayStation 5. But it's finally out these past weeks, and people are getting their input, and it's very much so positive. The last thing I checked out about the video was just like a performance comparison between through Digital Foundry, mind you, the PlayStation 4 Pro, the PlayStation 5, and Windows version, which is kind of like a broad term, but essentially just PC. Honest to goodness, like there's definitely like noticeable differences that you'll start to see. You'll see like changes in resolution for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 depending on the situation, right? I've never personally really thought too much about that. I know about like the dynamic resolution changing since honestly since what was it? Since like Mario Odyssey. And yeah, I would say it was since Mario Odyssey. And to be fair, like sometimes I don't really pay too much attention to like the visuals here and there because I'm always constantly moving in a video game. Not many opportunities where I just kind of look out into like the vista and just kind of like look. But I think we have to account for everyone as far as like the details like of a game and know that things like that do like change quite a bit. I noticed for the comparisons, things such as like the shadow like details like of like what was it of leaves and etc. Like that's kind of a indicator too. But all I can say is like as long as the game runs smoothly and consistently, it should be fine. Although I will be honest that this past week I kind of reaffirmed the fact that performance as far as like the frame rates from like 30 to 60, Marcus finally gave me the oi. Don't worry, Mark, I see you, I just don't really get to hear you. That's the problem. All right, there's Mark. Hello, Mark. Let me double check if my audio settings are right, because test. Okay, we're good. All right, Mark, there you are.
Sorry, I'm late.
No, it's okay. I'm technically I'm kind of late because even though like even if it didn't happen, I still kind of like postpone things like when I need to. But I'm glad that you're here though. I didn't really get started. I talked a little bit about the National Music Publishers Association with Twitch. Essentially, they're going to try to make.
Yes, I also got that email.
Yeah, so essentially they're going to try to make it a little bit lighter on the warnings and the possible solutions to what you can do in that scenario. But that's going to be a growing, developing thing because aside from what they like explained really briefly and kind of vaguely, we don't really know much until like later on. And then I jumped a little bit about the game Kenna Bridge of Spirits, the game that came out on PlayStation 5, Windows. And I don't really know too much about the game per se, but it does look really good. So that's another one. I hope that well, I guess since it's on PC, like that's kind of okay. If everything just kind of falls on PC, then I feel like that's still pretty accessible for a lot of people. I know that there's some people who don't really have like computers like that. So I hey, at least you have a PC now. We have established that now.
And it runs kind of.
It runs kind of. but it's a good base point.
It at least doesn't freeze. Well, it freezes, but it'll actually continue working after freezing.
Oh, okay. No. That's fine. That's fine. You know, it flickers.
It's better than the last one.
The last one being power button, no response. Father.
Power button turns on, next thing you know,
Father. My God. Father, my computation device is no longer working. Tried hitting it with a mallet?
Yes.
Father, there's now a bludgeoning dent into my computational device.
Did you roll a d20?
Did you roll a d20? Sometimes it'd be like that. Sometimes. Even in real life.
Did you roll a crit?
Okay. I do want to like talk about this relatively briefly because we don't have much like else like about this, but it's about Pokemon, the trading card game. Because I talked about it last week. I was talking about how what was it? I think it was no, it wasn't last week. It was like a few weeks back where I talked about how they were having like a illustration contest, and I was like, yo, like the illustration for Pokemon like is really, really, really good. And granted, like a lot of other like card games have like such great illustrations too. But like in the situation with Pokemon specifically, because it's hard to really like collect these cards, it's just nice to just take a look at those. And I think that might be the only way I would have personally consumed that type of like media until recently, when I found out that well, first and foremost, there was always a trading card game online, but two, they are rolling out a new version of that, if you will, called Pokemon TCG Live, and I think that's going to be a little bit more mobile friendly. Essentially, it's pretty much just the same way as you collect cards and battle with other people, but like in the digital space. So at the very least, you don't have to worry about like finding out which like retailer has like the stock for them. You just have to buy it online. Hey, you don't have to worry about the damage of the card. There's that, or having to.
Hey man, what cards you got, physical or digital?
The cards will be. They'll be digital, but I believe you can still scan like any like existing physicals they got. I don't know how though.
You can scan the physicals and just add them to your collection.
Yeah, because well, I'm kind of curious how they're gonna do that too. Because who's to stop me from like literally just pulling up like an image of a Pokemon like on the internet and just like scanning it. So I'm really curious how they're gonna do that. They got something encrypted in the cards? Like,
they could.
The cards are alive, very much so alive. Will my OG Pikachu card work for this? I wonder. My God, I still have those little booster packs that like myself and David had opened up a long time ago. The like kind of like the nostalgia series.
Was that before Logan Paul bought some?
What was that?
Was it before Logan Paul bought Pokemon cards and they became popular again?
It was before then, I believe. Yeah, it should have been before then. Because the whole Logan Paul buying Pokemon cards is relatively a new thing for me to hear, actually. So, I'm not sure if he's done it years ago or he's doing it recently that's causing this.
He didn't know that was the whole reason cards boomed again?
I mean, in hindsight, when you tell me this, it does make sense. I always knew that like
he bought a fuck ton of them and he opened them all up and all of a sudden everyone's like Pokemon cards.
Because we have like there's a whole bunch of like, for me, a lot of conflicting events that happen that kind of don't like reveal the full like source of like how it became that popular. But you know, the whole 25th anniversary like McDonald's collab was one of those things, right? And then we saw a kind of an ugly side of the community there. And then now what you're telling me is like Logan Paul also bought trading card games, which also just kind of like added to that like frenzy of needing to get those Pokemon cards. So TLDR, it's not a really good time to try to physically collect things. I remember I was going to one of the GameStops, and literally one of the dudes who seems to be a regular walked in and said, like, you guys got like the new like booster pack? I was like, oh boy. Oh boy. Thankfully there was just one person though. But yeah, so I would say this is like a good alternative too. I mean, it seems that it's always been a thing that existed, and it's just a thing that I just wasn't really aware of it. And maybe just simply because like it was just not part of like the media that would advertise itself to me. It was just something that existed pretty much like maybe on the website for Pokemon, or you actually have to look in your app store, which I haven't really been doing in a long time. But oh yeah, speaking of which, I was just talking to my dad about like how I want to do a trade in for the iPhone 13. I think it's time for me to get the upgrade. But
I've heard things that tell you not to get the iPhone 13.
yeah, so what I've heard is that like if you have an iPhone 12, you don't need the iPhone 13. I have a 10R. I think it's pretty worth the upgrade. This is the one like what I do. Like I mean, I know that there's like some kind of like upgrade plan, right? Where I think they give you a pretty like nice like reduction in pricing here and there, just so like you continually like get the new phone like each year that like a new model releases. But for me, I just kind of like wait 2 or 3 years. In this case, it was kind of close to like 3. So I think it's a good time for me to like do the upgrades. I only got like I think it was a 5S, the 7, the 10R, and now it'd just be like the 13. So it's crazy that it's crazy I can really like count the smartphone upgrades just like on one hand still. But that's kind of like my progress in life. So I'm looking forward to seeing like what I get out of like the new phone then. Will I use it consistently is a different question.
It's a phone.
It's a nice bonus for sure, especially when your phone like starts to really die out on battery life. That's definitely a good time to upgrade.
When it gets that old, that's when you're like, yep, it's got to change.
Yeah, or you know when it starts to slow down very slowly due to reasons reasons outside of our own control, unless you choose to not upgrade or update.
They slowly begin to die off.
Who has, I mean, it would have to have been like bought and wrapped and never like touched, but who has like phones that have like their own version, the version that they came in and never
Their
like,
own
updated
version that they came in?
Someone's out there now. Now that I put the idea in my head, there's someone out there who just has a collection of all these like different phones, and they're spec'd up to their date, and that's it.
To their date. That's about it.
It's like, what are you gonna do? Put that in a museum? Like,
museum.
Actually, you know, I could kind of see that. That's another idea to put into to my dumb list of things that people will buy. Aside from avocado wrap, and the other thing I labeled out.
I still don't get what it is about the avocado wrap that it's stupid.
It's so stupid, but people will buy it.
So stupid about the avocado wrap.
What do you want? It's just black plastic wrap.
Oh yeah, that was your idea of what it fucking is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm thinking of the actual avocado wrap, which is just a fucking like wrap like a sandwich.
Oh, that's what you mean. Oh, well,
I was like, how is that
it's true that there are like that's also like a name for a food, like just an avocado wrap.
And that's why I was like, how what?
No, I mean for like preserving, you know, just to prevent it from like going really bad over the course of 24 hours. But
man.
Yeah.
And also, you talk about good illustrations on the new Pokemon cards. I'm telling you what, man, because someone who plays a bit of card games himself. I mean, the Yu-Gi-Oh ones are still always golden. Digimon's new cards. Those illustrations are beautiful.
I do remember them having Digimon cards, but is that still a very current thing that they're still doing?
Yeah, they made a whole new card game.
Damn, dude. I'm still over here like saying RIP to the Fire Emblem trading card game.
There's a Fire Emblem trading card game.
Exactly, yeah. It was something that was only like localized over in the East. So, I mean, you have to be really hardcore to just simply order it overseas. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like
I
I was
want
totally
them
down
to
to
make an
try it.
online one for the Digimon one.
Oh, nice.
I want them to make one. We'll see if they make one.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think at this point, like they have to like I guess trading card games will have to start adopting like that type of thing for as long as they have like an issue with just simply the availability of cards. I'm not sure Magic's one of those. Magic is kind of like
I mean,
chill,
Magic's,
isn't?
Magic's got they got an online one.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, Magic the Gathering Arena.
I see. Because I don't ever hear about any kind of shortages there. I think really my perception has been really like skewered by like the whole Pokemon scene. So maybe it's not bad.
Pokemon.
Everyone's like, Pokemon. Oh, wow, this 25th anniversary one. I'm so happy for you, Josh. Get out of the way, kid. Hey, you can't treat my son like
You
my
get your
Pokemon
like,
card.
oh.
Goes to lay at a counter. You can keep the Happy Meal.
You can keep the Happy Meal. Just want the toy.
And I'm over here at the table, like outside, saying, like, that's foul as fuck.
Foul fuck. They're just like, mind your own business.
Oh, right. You physically grab your head and turn.
You just mind your own business.
I'm gonna post this up my blog, though.
Oh god, not the blog.
Oh my god, what if I actually did it? What if I made my own blog where I just talk about like the very simple things in life? Like the things I
the
encounter.
simplest things in life.
This Sunday evening, a random man like walked by and snatched the kid's Pokemon's 25th anniversary card and slapped the mother and walked out. He also returned the Happy Meal.
Just when you add the slap the mother part, that's where it's like, bruh. It's like where it really goes over the top.
Oh, but I also talked about it was kind of Bridge of Spirits, and unfortunately I don't really know too much about like that game as far as like what that's like or even how the combat's like for the most part, but it does look really really good, and so that's the dub on that one. And then talked about Pokemon trading card. I'll give it a try for sure, just to see like what's that like to like do a digital collection of like cards. See like if I could just zoom in on the cards, that's cool. Like, all right, I'm good with that. But I do know
I'm a fan of PNGs.
I did hear
Just JPEG.
something about not being able to trade with people per se, which I think is kind of strange. But that might have been just something that someone else just kind of like tagged on to the announcement of this. So I'll just wait and see for myself. They don't have any type of release date for this one either. So in the meantime, you could still just get started with the previously existing trading card game online for that one. Pretty much everything
Meanwhile,
is transferred
Yu-Gi-Oh!
over.
Coming out with Master Duel,
Oh yeah, okay. And then
which they're actually going to use for the World Championship.
I'm sorry. Every single time Yu-Gi-Oh gets mentioned, my thought always kind of like retreats back to the one turn Exodia summon.
What? Are you fucking kidding me?
So genuine. Especially when
I
they
mean, bro,
flip every single
I'd be
card.
pissed too.
What?
What?
Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, understandably upset.
Understand? It's because it's always the same like couple cards to set it all up, so you can draw as many cards as you possibly can in your hand.
Yeah, that bot definitely does. The bot in the story mission definitely does have a setup that you gotta watch out for.
My God, the speed run killer. Fuck, dude.
Pain.
That's so much pain when there is a one hit like kill type of thing. I think the biggest thing that put the fear of a one-hit kill on me was definitely the Gears of War 2 campaign mission where you're inside the worm. It
Oh yeah, Gears of War 2.
Yeah, when it's like, I think it's the teeth or just some part of like the body like grinds up like part of the like area that you're in. And if you're not careful, and they definitely play on this obstacle course of that, you get grinded immediately and you're dead. I was like, that's so foul, dude.
Or there's that one part where it's got the big square things that flatten you, and then they get the other one that does that. There's that one that has the teeth. You're right on that, I think.
Okay. That was still really, like a fun mission too, because at the end it really was like, oh shit, we gotta like break through as fast as we can because blood is starting to build up.
Oh, I'm coughing up blood that ain't mine.
That's gross. And then
Control, get us the hell out of here.
Oh my god, when they had to play it in slow motion of them breaching out. Oh. My god, that was. Oh. You know what, Xbox, you don't have to do any performance boost on that one. You're good.
Clear as day.
Clear as day. Listen, they remember when Gears of War 1, just like OG 2006 Gears of War, had that like filter on it that was like everything was kind of just dark red all over. And then and then for Gears of War 2, they actually like cleaned it up. And thanks to that, we see the details.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that reminds me. So at this point, like, what was it? I have Gears of War like 1 through 3, 4, and 5, as well as the additional like DLC for 5 down pat. So aside from Gears Tactics, what I have, the only game I wouldn't have been able to play at that point is Judgment, which
you have Gears of War 3 ROM Shadow.
Oh yeah, there was one like that. Okay.
There's that DLC.
I do remember like vaguely about Rom having like a DLC for himself.
That was a good DLC.
Man, was that like up to the point where like he ran up on, who was it, Kim?
That was the first time they met.
Oh, okay.
Like, it shows that they met each other previously.
Oh, damn, dude.
And Kim was finna finish him right there, but you know, like the character that you play as said not like now's not the time.
Oh, really? I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
like, seems like it's the perfect time.
He pulled Kim out because Kim was charging through a fucking horde of krill to chainsaw Rom.
Ooh, well, you got to appreciate like his grit to do that.
That was after one of his squad. That's after Rom just impaled one of his squad mates.
Ah, well, that's understandable.
He was like, "No, this is for her. This is for her." As he's just charging through krill trying to get to Rom.
Man, dude,
Pretty badass.
it was pretty cool. What wasn't badass was what happens after that fact, where Rom just shows up.
I have the code.
He just walks nonchalant, sneaking up and on like a Splinter Cell game, but he's just walking. He's standing.
At least in the Ultimate Edition, they actually had it be more realistic. Like Kim looks back and notices and starts firing back,
Oh, okay.
rather than just being completely caught by surprise.
And then I remember like immediately after that one, that was still kind of crazy, where it was one of the Carmines like can't take it anymore, just runs off like in a different direction, and it's like literally around that corner too.
That wasn't a Carmine. That was the gear.
What was that?
That wasn't a Carmine. It was just a random gear.
Was it really just a random? Oh, okay. I could have sworn that was a
He
Carmine.
said like, "I'm getting out of here." Ah!
That was like, that's foul, dude.
He's like, "You should have just stayed put."
My God, that was
Terrifying. Berserker mission, absolutely horrifying.
It was, especially for your first time going in. It's like, shh, just like walk really slow, and then start screaming like, oh.
Heart just starts beating 5,000 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm. You can feel the heartbeat with each step that she takes.
You see the smell and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
And then now like my mind's taking over to like what was it, Gears 5, when they were in the underground like lab, like up there, and
Oh God, the Monarch.
mm, that like it's started charging at you, and meanwhile like your girl's having like visions, and you're like, this is not the time. This is not the time.
Not the fucking time.
Especially when you see it on other people's screens that they're just doing things just fine.
I know, like you were doing that. Me and Phil are just like, oh.
I'm like, please stop. Okay.
Very interested to see what they're gonna do in Gears of War 6.
Yeah. Do we even know anything about it? Probably best
We know
we
what's gonna
don't.
happen. Like, I think they're on season 8. This should be their last season, or they might have a couple, like 1 or 2 more left, and then they're probably gonna start just focusing solely on the next Gears of War.
Okay. Because I gotta know what happens, especially like with the split, like possible like decision they make.
Yeah, like that's definitely like I would rather them have just made the choice for me.
Yeah, me too. Just to one, make it coherent, like for the entire plot, but also so they don't like weigh me in on that choice. How could you? How could you do this to me?
I mean, it's like I personally, the reason that I picked who I picked was because I couldn't do that to Marcus. I can't. JD is all that he has left. I can't do that to him. As much as I like Dell, I'm like, I cannot do that to Marcus.
I forget. Like I know I've seen both like situations when you save either or, and I just feel like it's just unjust for either one of them. Dell's just been like the main like anchor
Yeah.
for everyone, honestly, and then there's JD who just had a redemption arc. And you're like, fuck, dude, I can't.
And it's also like, I mean, in terms of both scenes, I feel like whose death felt more impactful. Dell's felt way more impactful towards the entire story.
Mm-hmm.
Like the scene with Marcus and JD, I'm like, ah.
They did do that in the beginning too. It's like, wow,
Like they're hugging in the rain and everything. I'm like, this is pain.
this is a pain I've never felt before. Oh, real quick thing, because I don't know like how far in detail we'll talk about this, but Star Wars Visions recently released with all of its episodes.
I have watched 1 through 5.
Oh wow, I watched the first 2. That's how far I was able to get today.
This one was really good.
First one's really good. I like the second one. I like how charming that was at the end.
Like I said, the second one threw me. Like the art style, I knew there were going to be different art styles. The first one, I was like, okay, I like this grainy samurai-esque kind of style.
Yeah.
The second one, I was like, this is leaps and bounds different from the first one.
This is so different. I will say, like, the first one exudes coolness to another level.
And the second one is goof.
So no, I really love the second one for like what it decides to do, and I was going to elaborate a little bit more about like just like the actions for the main character in that one, as it kind of like almost echoes all the decisions made like for the series going like thus far at that point. But I wanted to give a quick shout outs and some mentions about the first like episode, because
That's pretty badass.
They just like had a lot of nods of like the what if we did this from
With
the unsheathing, which was the coolest shit.
Oh yeah, unsheathing his lightsaber.
You're like, whoa, dude.
Not only that, but just like when she just breaks out the freaking like her lightsaber attachment, I was like, oh, fuck.
That was so dope. I was like, oh, I guess you could make it like that.
And it's just a detachable attachment.
Yeah, because that spinning rotator, as funny as it is sometimes, I can see the impact of it, especially when she stabs like the one dude and then proceeds to like inflate the entire thing. I was like, oh no, that's terrible.
And I was like, Jesus.
And then when she meets Ronan, she does like pull out the detachment. I was like, oh shit, that's how it works.
thinking he was a Jedi. He's also got a red saber saying he's no Jedi.
Yeah. I'm no Jedi. And then near the end of the fight, the conclusion of it, where he just straight up tricks her.
I know, like that was smart.
That was so smart. And I was like, whoa. Damn, dude.
He just put his lightsaber in a statue as a decoy.
Oh my god. That was so smart. And that was
And
so
then
cool.
He gave the kid a kyber crystal.
Yeah. That was cool. It's used to ward off evil. So he says.
I think what he is, if I was to give a definition of what he is, I would say it's rare, but it's not unheard of, is a light Sith.
I can believe it. Those who
A
can't
light
really...
Sith, they're Sith, but they're not complete assholes.
I mean, I can see that. We have a lot of those, actually. In real life. And light Siths. It's a cool word, but for some reason I feel like I wouldn't want to like apply that to anyone because that almost sounds a little bit too derogatory by itself.
But a light, there's dark Jedi. There were also light Sith.
Yeah, okay. I honestly feel that like for someone like that person who comes off as someone who originated like as a Sith, but has then changed their ways, but can't fully like align themselves as a Jedi per se because of just how they are, would just otherwise take this path of just hunting down like actual like evil Siths out there.
Mm-hmm. If I was to say, because I've seen 1 through 5, if I was to say who I think has done the best so far, like which company I think has made the best one so far. Personally, so far, I might have to give it, not sure exactly, but I might have to give it to Production IG.
What did IG do? This sounds familiar.
Production IG, if I'm not mistaken, let me just do a quick search.
Production.
Let's take a look at works. They did Ghost in the Shell. They did. What else did they do? They did Eden of the East. They did Guilty Crown.
Oh shit!
Prince of Tennis 2.
Prince of Tennis 2. You're
Psychopaths. Ace of Diamond. Haikyuu.
Oh, nice. Okay. I see them. Evangelion. Looks like the original works for Evangelion too.
Mm-hmm. I believe Production ID did a bit of Attack on Titan.
Do I see Kill Bill on that list? Not sure exactly how they get involved in that, but great.
Yeah, theirs is actually really good.
Damn, dude. I'm curious. Well, actually, maybe not so curious because it's more like fulfilling prophecy to see like the Trigger one.
The Trigger one.
Because you know, like if you watched enough Trigger like anime,
it's wild as shit, just like you'd expect from Trigger.
It's just like you're kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. You know exactly what you're gonna get into. You're gonna like it, and that's it.
Dude, with Trigger, it was like it's you learn to like some things like in Star Wars. There's no fucking way that would work, but you're like it's Trigger, so I'll make an exception.
Oh, that way. Okay, they do a lot of like defying physics type of stuff.
Bro, they
like to do that.
It was like, you remember Gurren Lagann throwing galaxies? We passed that.
Boy, we way past that. I'm chugging like Death Stars mid shooting their lasers. I blocked one of those lasers.
Like it's really good, but it's also like it's like you look at it, you're like Trigger,
right. Trigger.
That's Trigger.
And here I am going to give a shout out to episode 2 because as odd as that story is, I do appreciate that that's like a path that like a Jedi can take, or a Padawan maybe, because episode 2, just to clarify for everyone, was it was it was the rock band episode.
It really is the band episode.
Where the premise of the story is that a young Hutt Jr. wants to just like have a band, and Boba Fett's there to ring him back in. And the idea was that, what was it? That our boy Jay, who was the old Padawan who has a broken lightsaber, tries to fight back. Of course, it's a broken like lightsaber, but all the members of the band was saying like, "There's nothing we can do. Like we're just a band." He's like, "You know what? You're right. We are just a band." And so they strung up a deal to have like them hosts. I don't know, like whatever pod racing
We're gonna play
event
your
they had.
execution.
And then he mods his lightsaber into a mic,
It's fantastic.
and he uses force jump to get some air. And then Jabba the Hutt from there on sponsors them.
This is your last chance, Jabba. We're gonna be the biggest band in the galaxy. How'd you to be our first sponsor?
I'll allow it. It's only because Boba Fett and Jabba were both tapping their feet.
And that's on Jabba's tail. Do, 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 do. I was like, oh, he likes it.
Oh, he likes it, actually.
He's like, okay, this a pop.
Boba's over there like, I was about to kill them all. I'm glad
Boba's like, man. Boba's like, I'm glad I did, man. This is my jam now.
Oh my god. But yeah, I will have to tune into those episodes. I found it pretty useful to be able to watch them like as I was doing, actually, what was it? A Ring Fit Adventure little workout. It's one of those that you put the switch to sleep, and you actually like press in like the right Joy-Con on the wheel, and you get access to just like a ring counter for every single time like you press into the ring. So it just keeps track of that like 500 times until like it gives you the signal that like, oh, there you go.
500 times.
It got exhausting after the second like set.
Once you went to 200, that's when I was like, I'm feeling it.
To be fair, I probably should have done more like with like the legs, because you can really just do that too. Because I just stand there like on my desk, well, not on my desk, but just like watching like the episodes, and this is all I'm doing. And then also like one where you like press it like against your shoulder, but then you can also like use your legs too for that. So I should definitely do that a lot more, especially since some reason I always avoid that machine at the gym.
The leg press?
Not the leg press, the one because I believe the leg press is just the ones where like it's all about like your thighs like pushing like against the weight, but it's the one where you have to just use your legs and squeeze between.
Oh,
that one. Like I haven't really like used that machine, and I'm still like in that phase where like it has to be like a really slow day at the gym for me to go and like investigate and then learn how to use that machine. Because I feel so weird whenever, and I shouldn't, because everyone's just kind of focusing on them, but I don't really like to like work with a machine that I'm not familiar with and then possibly do the wrong technique on it.
He's like, I don't want to end up in that viral compilation.
I know. Oh my god. I don't want to. Oh god.
Some of those are so bad.
Some of them are really bad. Some of them obviously are like set up to make it look like that. But
how are some of them so bad?
Like, what was it? The one where like someone's like on a treadmill and they put one of their legs and hook it like across like the handle. It's like, what the hell?
I remember the one dude humping the ground. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
I have seen like an interesting one before. I don't think it's part of the failing compilations, but it's really someone using an ab wheel and using it on a treadmill. So your body never gets on the treadmill, it's just the wheel, and you just have to balance yourself as it's rolling around. And I'm like, oh shit, that sounds like it's pretty helpful actually.
It's like unintentionally he might have made a new workout.
I think actually that might even work here at home. I just had to go buy an ab wheel and just use what we got. It'd probably work actually. Give myself ideas. Watch out. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Oh my God, I see it through the shirt.
Oh,
Don't worry, guys. It's just lunch meat.
just lunch meat.
Oh, oh yeah. I guess I should also like bring this up for the podcast. But actually, before we do that, just wanted to focus in on like some of the topics that we had listed here. Mark, did you have any topics that you wanted to share aside from Nintendo?
Halo Infinite's really good.
Yeah, actually, you were showing me one of the clips that you shared. Yeah, it
I was
definitely
popping
just
off.
it has that like signature feel for Halo, even though it's not like me playing it. It's just me watching like a short clip of it. It yeah, it's definitely Halo.
I was just popping off, bro.
I was just in the moment.
I was in the zone.
People have been like posting like tweets about Halo Infinite, their experience on it. I'm happy to see like there's quite a number of people just like enjoying like the experience and talking or praising the visual look of the game too. Some people are posting like really wide angle like screenshots. I was like, that looks so sick.
It's really good. It's honestly, it's a must buy.
Mm-hmm. But thankfully, not only like it's Game Pass, but it's also like, what was it? I mean, as long as you have the online for it, the multiplayer is free, so that's great.
It's true.
So I'm looking forward to that. Like me not like 100% following a lot of this stuff makes me excited for like when I actually sit down and actually play it and just see everything like is brand new. It's like, oh, oh. I just wish I could actually see like what the campaign might look like. Because
Campaign is probably going to be great.
it'll probably be great, especially when you have like more like options for exploration. It's like,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
like a huge, big open world Halo campaign. I'm like, it'd be very hard to fuck this up.
with a grappling hook. That's
Fun.
great.
Sounds fun to me.
The demon is here. Watch out for him. Oh, oh. It's in. Oh my God.
Hi, how are you? Spider-Man.
Man. And then I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Hmm?
Oh, I was gonna say, what were you saying? I didn't know you were like bring something up actually.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Oh, okay, for sure. Okay, in that case, the last thing I have listed here is actually in the Nintendo Direct here, which what happened just like 2 days ago actually. I noted a couple things here. Mainly it's Kirby, and specifically it has to be Kirby.
I knew you'd be excited about that.
I'm so happy for him. Like, I'm also happy that other people share that same like level of excitement because Kirby I still see as definitely kind of more catered to kids, but also the demographic like it spans farther than that because of just like when he was established, like way back when. So like Kirby does like have quite a history. If you guys go on to like the Nintendo Switch Online and just look at like NES and Super NES, you'll see him just like here and there from like his old forms, and that makes me happy that the Switch Online's now expanding out to the N64, but also Genesis too. 64 just having like it will eventually have like Kirby's like Shattered Star or Shattered Crystals. I know it's like 64, we could just call it that, but I never got to really play that game either. But there's also other games I probably never got to play. Like I didn't even know F-Zero had an N64 game. But I'm so down to try it. Especially since I've been playing Cruising. My God, I was playing it this morning. It was still fun to do it. Even for just one race. It's just like, this is nice. But we'll give shout outs to Monster Hunter Rise, Sunbreak, and Bayonetta as well.
I'm excited.
Sunbreak, like, I want to hear like what music they're gonna include, and I just want to like travel across this like new like area, because so far they only showed like the broken down castle, but there's gotta be more than just that. But it's gonna be interesting. It'll be probably jarring to see it because it is, as you were saying, it's like a clash between like Eastern and Western, like yokai slash monsters slash like ideologies, mythics. It's just gonna be
that would appear to be what it looks like.
yeah. So I can't wait to see like the new edge lord for this game.
Yes, the vampire dragon.
The vampire dragon. I will say though, Valstrax still like takes it for me, but like it's always
Still
nice to see
so
him.
fucking cool.
This dude impaled me without hesitation.
Not only that, he literally just goes up, flies around like a freaking comet, and then comes back down.
That's so cool. You're like, oh wow, oh no,
Oh wow, oh no.
oh no. Hey, don't go. Bring your ass up. Oh.
Hey, coward, get back out. Oh. He was never leaving.
You're like, hey, Valtrax, bitch. And then he like immediately comes back. Oh.
He goes, hey, Velstrak, bitch.
Did someone call for a vibe check?
Someone call for a vibe check?
Or that instant delivery?
Special delivery.
And then, of course, it's interesting to see like Bayonetta now because obviously it's a jump from like the Wii U to the Switch, and not to mention like just her look in like the second game and just how she looks now, fully grown hair, but it's all like, is the term more like braided instead? But in any case, yeah, she changed the look like so much. And
That poor Nintendo Switch that was running that.
my God. Please, Switch Pro. Please be the one to run this.
Please don't blow up. Please don't blow up.
Please don't blow up. Actually, you know what? On that topic, yeah, when I was watching the trailer for that, I was like, oh wow, like, is this a smooth 60 frames per second? I think it depends. Like, well, at least it's an early build of it to showcase it, but it looks like it was all uncapped. So there's definitely times where it's like it's jumping up there at high rates, but also it can like fall low depending on the situation. And if that's a Switch, that's cool. Well, if there was a Switch Pro though, we'll probably have to save that conversation until we get better like news about that.
Game day.
Same day. 2022 Switch Pro? That I kind of would look forward to that. Man, we still have to like wait until like this OLED model comes out, which is like, what was it, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks.
You say something like that.
Something like that. And whatchamacallit it? Was there anything else I wanted to add aside from that? Kirby. Oh, well, I mean, just to talk briefly about Kirby, I suppose. I just said like Kirby, and I just like moved on to the conversation. But 3D, I mean, I've kind of wanted a 3D like Kirby game, and that's why I was looking at Air Ride. I was like, is this good enough? Like, is this a good enough like 3D? Nah, it needs to be full 3D. I want my Kirby Odyssey right now, dude. The Super Kirby Odyssey.
Super Kirby Odyssey. Super Kirby Odyssey.
Well, actually, no one really pointed this out. I just noticed this like when I was watching the trailer, was the fact that Kirby broke the Waddle Dees like out of like a floating like little tiny jail cell. And I was like, damn, dude. First, Kirby does his taxes. Now this.
Kirby does his taxes.
Kirby does his taxes. Kirby bails you out of jail. It's like
Kirby's.
Dude, Kirby's just an upright citizen. I mean, like he literally just popped out of, like a shooting star from space and has the intellectual like communication of possibly like a just turned 3-year-old.
What a smart young lad.
But like he doesn't need He doesn't need the education.
You don't need another education.
I also realized the fact is that like this is the place they like kind of lands in is just real like a desolate wasteland, and I'm just like, Kirby, look, behold, look what the humans have wrought.
Behold!
It just so happens that Kurt and someone beat Kirby to him first.
Behold!
How am I supposed to eat good things now? Because the funny thing is that like there's no humans in Kirby's world, just no one, and so how people making milkshakes and like super powered lollipops, I can't tell.
He just gets them. They're all left over from when they were there.
They're all ooh. I'm not sure about those maximum tomato things.
It's all leftovers.
It's all leftovers. Oh my god!
Not a
Damn
single
those
bit of
preservatives
expression.
though. Maybe because Kirby's able to keep his form because he doesn't actually digest those preservatives.
Isn't his entire stomach just a freaking
It
separate
is.
universe?
It is pretty much just like a little pocket universe where he can like literally reach out and like take in powers. I think with food it's kind of different because he consumes them, and for the sake of like the game logic, he eats them for health, so he can't really like regurgitate them back out unless he swallows a frying pan and becomes like Chef Kirby. Did you know?
He's basically the definition of a bottomless pit.
Yeah. Did you know in Star Allies you can also cook his friends too? And they're totally cool with it.
Friends.
It's so dumb. He'll call everyone, including his allies, to get inside the pot, and he stirs them all happily, and the friends just pop out like nothing happened.
That's so fucked up.
It's so funny though, because they're fine.
Even Chef Kawasaki gets in it.
Oh, he does. Actually, you have to eat Chef Kawasaki, and then possibly make him an ally.
You don't eat Chef Kawasaki.
How else are you gonna get the cooking powers?
You can just learn, Kirby. You don't always have to learn by eating.
That's a fact. Even when swallowing the mic to become Mike Kirby doesn't change his ability to sing.
Mike Kirby. Mike Kirby is just a Jigglypuff.
This is true. He just doesn't have the Sharpie.
Exactly. It's just an actual mic, but for all we know, he takes the top off. You see a little marker tip.
Oh no, Kirby! How are you able to grip that? Boyo!
How does Jigglypuff grip it?
Boyo! Oh, like your sword. Oh, got you. Okay.
That's my question. How does Jigglypuff grip it when she doesn't have any digits either? It's just the same thing. It's a nub.
Sheer aggression. The act to inhurl like discipline to those who don't listen. I will say though that just having Sword Kirby in that game, instant like 3D Zelda game right there. Instant. So it's technically Legend of Kirby Odyssey.
Kirby and the Lost Lands. Kirby and his very large glands.
Kirby and the Forgotten Suck.
Good. It's gracious.
There was actually I actually don't even know what the influence of this boss battle, but there's a little bit of footage there where it's him like fighting this great ape dude, not Donkey Kong, just like a random like great ape dude. And I remember there's a quick little thing that happens before they transition to the next scene where Kirby's like slicing him up, and you just see like the girl just kind of give him like the big eye, like, oh, what you doing down there? Oh, but
Kirby
yeah.
is very strong.
He is very, very strong. And
He's comedically strong.
immediately very strong.
Like they said, let's just take this pink, adorable, cute-looking little shit, and we're gonna make him an absolute powerhouse.
Let's literally have him fight a nightmare and
Hasn't
win.
he beaten gods?
Technically, yeah, I think so, because one of the notable villains in the Kirby games is Marx. I think his name
so
is
creepy looking.
Yeah. That's fighting theme though. I was like, damn, dude. This track slaps. But I think he's kind of like that equivalent. I think Star Allies kind of like takes it a step above as far as like a being that like really can like destroy like and kill the universe essentially, and just like have it like do the usual like I will take over with all my dark miasma that I could possibly throw at you. But like I think Marx is dark asthma? I think Marx is just kind of straight to the point. I will just destroy everything.
It's getting like attacked by a wiener dog.
Uh-oh, no. But yeah, so TLDR, the new Kirby game is extremely charming. I'm glad that Bayonetta is back. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak hype, and I'm super glad that we're gonna get a selection of N64 games, including Banjo and Kazooie.
Yep, I did see Banjo and Kazooie. I was like, oh shit.
It's like, damn, dude, that means 2E is gonna be in the works too.
Ooh.
Damn, dude. Like, I mean, granted, like they're on like good communication basis, so that just opened up the conversations
they're
for
it. Right
now. So then the next thing, actually, that would never happen. There would no way be like a PlayStation like possible outcome that could happen. Sony would never do that.
So you say PlayStation and PlayStation something, anything PlayStation being on Nintendo, I'm like, you're funny.
You're fucking. It's not gonna happen. You know, it'd be nice if it did, but there would be no reason for it. It would have made more sense than if PlayStation were the one to do it like for themselves and not make like a virtual like retro console like collection, but actually just like port them over. That's too smart.
That makes way too much sense.
It makes way too much sense, but we can't possibly see the benefits of doing that in a profitable way.
Makes way too much sense.
But it makes way too much sense, though. Yeah, dude.
That's what it boils down to. That makes way too much sense.
Like, nah, dude. What you mean? You want to play the old Crash Bandicoot games? What? Jack and Deck? What? Slight Coop? What? No.
What kind of logical facts are you stating right now?
PlayStation also. Nah. You fucking. God of War? Nah, dude. No. But don't worry. We got like a beloved one, you know, Mega Man X7.
Mega Man X7.
Burn to the ground.
Forget.
Oh, damn, dude. I think Mark would. Oh, sorry. I think that Phil would also like bring up the Castlevania again, like their advanced collection. That's still going to be a thing, despite the on Switch Online not having like a Game Boy port quite yet. But that's super cool that we have like a collection for that too. So,
oh yeah, it's also on Game Pass.
Is it also on Game Pass? It's too good.
Mm-hmm.
That was way too good of a move.
It's way too good of a move.
That's way too good of a move. Meanwhile, PlayStation. I don't know why would we do that. I don't understand. It makes way too much sense.
You got me. On all accounts, it makes too much sense.
Which is I shouldn't really say that because I'm over here like slowly collecting PlayStation 4 games. I actually picked one up behind me too. Today I was like, shit, here I am.
Bruh.
Simply like another version of the man that I was like way back. Just like building up this collection. Sheesh. But yeah, I guess no, I think that's pretty much it. I did say that I did pick up games. That didn't include the PlayStation 4 game. I should probably already just go ahead and show you guys what they are, actually. Because what was it? I was talking like earlier about like Steam having they have like a publisher sale through Xseed. Xseed is a publisher who's done the works for like Shantae, for example. They've done pretty much everything East related, as well as like the Legend of Heroes series. Those latter two franchises I have been thinking about getting into, and seeing East Origins kind of did it for me. I was like, okay, you know. And I also bought like E7 because I was like on a good deal. So I when the opportunity struck me, I picked up East 9. And I also got this one, which is like East 4. What's it called? Memories of Salsata? Yeah, like it's a game that came out like a while back, like reportedly like on the Vita, and it's just got like different ports, but to see this big of a collection for it, I was like, I kind of want it. And so I got it. And then lastly, because it was already marked off on like pricing, I got Trails of Cold Steel 4 to pick up the other series later. So that's where I'm at. I've become Mr. JRPG, man.
Ah, see.
So that's what's going through right now. Got to probably pick up like Cold Steel 1 and 2 like while it's still on sale at, like on Steam, because you can't get the physicals without really sacrificing a pretty penny. And then I'll have to look for like the third game later. But that's where I'm at. But yeah, is there anything else you want to bring up, Mark? I know that we got like D&D session happening in a little over an hour, actually.
Yeah, Christoph actually messaged and said like he might have to cancel because something's going on.
Oh no. Oh, okay, I see it.
I think he just said he wasn't feeling good.
Oh, you know what? That's fair. I think this week has been like pretty stressful for a lot of us, actually.
Has it?
I mean, like I've well, to be perfectly clear here, I've pretty much been bitching this whole week.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm just like early in my Twitch streams, I just literally like just dump all the grief that I got, and I'm like, okay, we're good.
I know, I'm usually there for that.
Yeah, no, TLDR, like it's just been rough because of just the workload. But it's one of those things where it's like you know it's gonna happen because just of this the times that we're in currently, it will get better. But in the meantime, you just have to really just like dig deep and just like work with what you got.
You just gotta make it through.
Just gotta make it through. Like it's real rough out there. Like there's Christoph and there was Phil. And then I know I'm going through things. I know that a lot of people are going through things. So when someone has to cancel because they're just not feeling too well or they're way too busy, it's 100% understandable. It's just chaotic. But yeah, I guess in that case, I think we're pretty much good. So, all right. I guess we'll go ahead and call it here. So, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of DangIT Prodcast. This episode been episode, actually I have it right here, 700 or 379. My name is Justin.
Mark.
And thanks for watching. Hashtag bye everyone.
Betty out.
And also before we cut the stream entirely, if that's the case, probably see about, I mean, I'll still like stream like later this evening with Tales of Symphonia. We're still continuing on with that. But as far as the time, it was depending on when Christoph would start stream. So it might be 7 and it might be 8. So we're just within that ballpark is when I'll start stream. So yeah, stay tuned for that. All right, now hashtag bye.